PowerPoint overview of SmartCatalog, and that will provide a good, strong foundation for the demonstration piece. So we'll spend 10 minutes or so in the PowerPoint, and then we'll jump right into the demonstration, and we'll make sure that we leave plenty of time open for Q&A at the end here. Okay, fantastic. So welcome to the overview of SmartCatalog for Sage SalesLogix. I'll just take one slide to introduce you to Endeavor Commerce. For many of you, this is probably your first formal introduction. We've actually been a partner with Sage since 2002 when we acquired the original configuration engine from Sage. Since 2002, we've completely rewritten it, re-architected it in the latest and greatest technology. We've also rebranded it as SmartCatalog, but it has a long heritage with Sage. This year in 2007, we were announced as an endorsed technology partner. This is a really big deal because it means that Sage has taken the time to fully test and certify our product. Not only certify our product, but also certify our company, our customer base, our references, our ability to deliver the SmartCatalog essentially with the same level of service that Sage could provide their own solution. And there's only a handful of technology partners out of more than 700 in the Sage Technology Partner Program that are endorsed partners. We're all about extending fast, accurate quotes and orders from CRM across all revenue channels. So that includes your inside salespeople, your outside or disconnected salespeople, and your partners and customers via the web. It's also important to note that we go to market through CRM experts. So we have a partner channel much in the same way that Sage does, and we have a lot of SmartCatalog experts that are also SalesLogix experts in the market to help you evaluate and ultimately implement SmartCatalog. So let's talk about the typical quoting challenges that we see day in and day out in working with clients. The first one is many of you have a manual, time-intensive quoting and proposal process. There's pretty good odds that you're using spreadsheets or some kind of homegrown application to generate your quotes and proposals. You're then having to convert those to Word documents to send out, and then turning around and manually updating your forecast in SalesLogix. So this manual time-intensive process leads to a lot of productivity loss in your sales organization. It can also lead to inaccurate quotes and orders. Anytime you've got a manual process, and if you have complex products and services, it can compound the probability that you'll end up with inaccurate quotes and orders. And then the final piece is odds are it's not integrated with CRM. It's a separate system. You're requiring your salespeople to essentially do duplicate work, create the quote in Excel and Word, then update the forecast, again leaving the productivity loss, and also disenfranchising to a certain extent your SalesLogix users. And then finally, if you're having the first three challenges, the odds are pretty high that you're not offering your products and services on the web and allowing customers and partners to come online and actually do quotes and orders themselves. All four of these issues have three very significant economic impacts to your organization. The first is lost revenue. Lost revenue through lost productivity, sales productivity, lost revenue through not being on the web and meeting additional markets, increased costs through sales support costs, through bad quotes or bad orders, product returns, and then lost customer satisfaction. It doesn't take too many times to get it wrong or just to get it turned around slowly to lose customer satisfaction. So these are really significant issues that we see our clients dealing with in the market. The good news is there is a solution, and it's SmartCatalog and Sage SalesLogix working together. And I'll just start by framing this with a quote from Gartner. Gartner says this was their latest Magic Quadrant for Salesforce automation. They say that core functionality for Salesforce automation includes account contact and opportunity management. That's essentially the foundation, and that's what SalesLogix provides. But it also includes sales solution functionality, such as sales configuration, quote management, and so forth. And then they go on to say that in many cases they'll require these components to fill gaps from third-party vendors, and that's essentially what we are. We're a best-of-breed quoting, guided selling, and sales configuration solution, which is very tightly integrated with SalesLogix, extending fast, accurate quotes and orders directly from SalesLogix to all revenue channels, inside sales, outside sales, the web for customers and partners. This is kind of a graphical look at the same concept. So Sage is SalesLogix is providing the foundation. We're extending that with quotes, proposals, and guided selling and configuration. And then we're extending that one step further to the web via Portal Edition. So the two core products that make up SmartCatalog are Sales Edition and Portal Edition. Sales Edition is for your sales team, your inside sales team and your outside sales team. Portal Edition is for customers and partners. And there's three core applications that make up these two products. The first one is the catalog application. And what it does is allow you to take the products and services that you have in your SalesLogix product tables and organize them into intuitive and categories, provide additional rich content and images that ultimately make it easy for salespeople and customers and partners via the web to generate quotes, proposals, and orders. You can take it a step farther and front end the catalog with our guided selling application. And what guided selling does, whether or not it's for a salesperson or it's for a partner or customer on the web, is walk the user through an intelligent Q&A session to understand what their needs are, and then based on how they answer the questions and what they say their needs are, it'll lead them to a specific recommended solution that meets their needs. So this enables salespeople, partners, and customers to quickly generate quotes, proposals, and orders that exactly meet the customer's needs. And the third application is the rules application. So you can take your products and services and apply rules, whether or not it's product configuration rules, it's how you bundle products and services, it's complex pricing rules like tiered pricing or geographic-based pricing, but it's all about putting rules that ultimately ensure that you have 100% complete and accurate quotes, proposals, and orders. These three applications can be combined into what we call our bundled edition, or you can license them individually, just depending on what your needs are. But SmartCatalog alone, or having a robust quoting solution in and of itself, is not enough. It's got to be very tightly integrated with your front office, with SalesLogix. And SmartCatalog absolutely is. So if I step you through this slide, we'll start on the bottom left-hand corner. So our administrative application, goes through the SalesLogix API and reads in the product table. Then within our application, in a GUI drag-and-drop type environment, you create your catalog definitions, your rule definitions, your guided selling definitions. You administer application security, which users see which catalogs, and so forth. And then all of that gets saved back into some custom tables that we add to SalesLogix with a bundle. So 100% of our data is stored right inside the SalesLogix database. One key piece of that, and the fact that we go through the SalesLogix API, is that we're fully sync aware. So salespeople who are generating quotes offline, their quotes and orders sync up, but at the same time, any catalog changes, rule changes, guided selling changes you make also sync out to your disconnected users. So now that we've got all the data in the database, if you're a salesperson using the SalesLogix client, you click on a button, it launches you into the SmartCatalog Sales Edition. You configure your quote, you save it, it updates the opportunity with the quote, and creates a quote record, updates the products tab, drives the forecast, and all of that is saved right in the SalesLogix database. Then with Portal Edition, you install a separate .NET application, the Portal application, which allows a partner or customer to log in. It reads their profile information right out of the contact and account record, allows them to configure quotes and orders, which ultimately create opportunities right inside the database, which are then visible to your salespeople inside. So not only are we allowing customers and partners to create quotes and orders right inside of SalesLogix, but we're also allowing them to be visible and edited by your salespeople via Sales Edition. So it's enabling collaboration across your channels, which is really powerful. You can essentially have workflow that, a partner creates a quote and it notifies the salesperson via email, puts it in their queue that allows them to open it, call the partner, collaborate with the partner, make changes, maybe work on discounting, restructuring the quote slightly, save it, and then the partner can see it, the revised quote, and then ultimately process it to an order, which creates an order detail record in a Sage SalesLogix. And this is the exact workflow that you're going to see in the demonstration today. So by deploying SmartCatalog combined with SalesLogix, you can absolutely expect some very positive impact to your business. The first is in cost reductions. So SmartCatalog and SalesLogix working together have the ability to eliminate requotes and reduce returns, which will ultimately reduce cost, reduce cycle time. That's quote to proposal cycle time, so less essentially cost per sales transaction, man-hour per sales transaction to support the quote to proposal process. It can also streamline the quote to fulfillment process by pushing clean and accurate orders into your back office, into mass. It can reduce full-time employee required to support the quote to order process, allowing you to deploy those resources into other value-add areas in your business. It can also reduce sales support costs by enabling web self-service, so some percentage of your revenue you can move to a lower cost web channel. The flip side of that is that it can increase customer satisfaction, revenue, and margin. At its core, it's about quoting it fast, fulfilling it fast, and getting it right the first time. So if you can do it faster and more accurately than your competition, the odds are that you're going to significantly increase your customer satisfaction and loyalty, which will of course lead to increased revenue over time. Also, increased quoting efficiency means salespeople are spending less time on quotes and proposals and more time adding values to customers and prospects, leading to more revenue. Reducing goodwill margin loss due to requotes. Also allowing partners and customers to quote 24/7 when they need it via the web. You essentially can have a salesperson selling 24/7 over the web. Not only does this allow your partners and customers to transact off hours, but it also can enable your business or open your business up into other markets where you don't have feet on the street today. And then finally, by having it all integrated with SalesLogix and hopefully also extended through SalesLogix integration to your back office, you can significantly increase the business intelligence and visibility to the enterprise for your executives to help them make key decisions. So SmartCatalog and SalesLogix can absolutely have a tremendous impact to your business. And we've got, it's not just the software, and this is important to understand. Technology in and of itself does not get the job. It's also about how you implement and leverage the technology. And we've got different methods of implementation depending on each customer and what their needs are based on years of experience in deploying quote and proposal technology. So we've got the right deployment for your budget and for your internal staff level and skill set to help you be successful with this. And then the last slide before we get into the demonstration is some of our marquee accounts. And I guess the real message to take away from this slide is that there is a tremendous amount of diversity in our customer base, which speaks to the flexibility and power of the SmartCatalog. I'll pull out a few as examples. On one extreme, you've got Monster.com that's using SmartCatalog on their web for guided selling and rules-based quoting. So if you go to monster.com and you go to the employer site, you'll find the product finder scattered throughout their site. If you click on the product finder, you're now in SmartCatalog, you're going through guided selling, you're ending up in a SmartCatalog product that's dynamically recommending their services to you based on your needs. So that's a pure business service example. On the other end of the spectrum, by the way, that's also a global, multinational, multilingual deployment, which talks a little bit to the scale capability of SmartCatalog. It's in North America, EMEA, and Asia Pacific. Then you've got a small manufacturer, Vincent Lighting Systems. You've got distribution and Richardson Electronics. You've got telecommunications and Deltacom. You've got healthcare and Wolters Kluwer. So it really does span a wide range of industries. So with that foundation in place, we're going to jump right into the demonstration and take a look at SmartCatalog in action. So we'll kind of follow the format that we started with in the PowerPoint, and what we'll do is start off demonstrating a salesperson generating a quote directly from SalesLogix, and then we'll log into the Portal Edition and log in as a partner, create a quote on the web, then see that as a salesperson in SalesLogix, modify it, and then ultimately convert it right to an order on the web. Okay, so I'm on an account here, Abbott Worldwide, and I want to initiate a new opportunity and create a quote for them. I'll go up to the toolbar and click on the Start Quote with SmartCatalog tool. And that pops up this screen, which first allows you to choose the account and contact that you want to create this quote for. In this case, because I'm on Abbott Worldwide, it defaulted to that account, but I could go in and search for other accounts. It's also important to note that I can create a net new opportunity, or I can search for an existing opportunity and modify an existing opportunity. We'll go ahead and do a new opportunity for this demonstration. Then we've got the price list capability. So SmartCatalog fully leverages SalesLogix price lists. So you can have separate price lists for North America, EMEA, APAC, for different product divisions, product lines, and so forth. In addition to leveraging SalesLogix price lists, we're also multi-currency and multilingual. So we can work in a multinational type deployment. So I'll go ahead and click on the next button, and that launches us right into the Sales Edition. Now, the first thing you'll probably notice about the Sales Edition is that it looks a lot like Microsoft Outlook, and that's very intentional. Outlook is an application that just about everybody in the business world uses day in and day out. So we chose Outlook for ease of use by your end users. There's not a whole lot of training that's required for SmartCatalog. The other thing you'll notice is right when you launch into it on the home page, you've got all of your product and service catalogs right here on the home page, one click away. You've also got your guided selling trees one click away, or at any given time you can come over here to the nav bar and basically go to your different elements that you're wanting to get to via the nav bar. Now in this case, we're going to drill right into a catalog from the home page. And one thing to point out is you've got what's called a catalog series and then catalogs within a series. And you can have an unlimited number of series and an unlimited number of catalogs. So SmartCatalog can truly scale into very large product catalog and product line environments. Now I'll point out in this case we're a fictitious coach or bus manufacturer. And for those of you who are not in the manufacturing industry, one thing I don't want you to do today is to get caught up on the fact that we've got a manufacturing example. We've got to choose one example to roll with, but I'll just point you back to our slide where we've got a very broad range of customers. So how the catalog is structured, how the products and services are set up in here is very flexible to meet different types of quoting requirements. So with that said, we'll get rolling here. This particular catalog is set up in what's called a step view. So in the step view, it renders one category at a time. In this case, we're rendering the base model category. We also have engines, transmissions, tires, list options, and membership discounts. And essentially how you progress through this catalog is by making a product selection in one of your categories. And notice when I chose the O-Prime 6000, a rule fired that automatically included the appropriate transmission for me. Now that I've made this selection, I'll just scroll down to the bottom here and click on the next button to take me to the next category, which is the engines category. And you'll notice in this category we're not showing any images or any additional content about the product. So it is optional. You can load images, you can load content, or you can just load products directly in. I'll also point out over here, you probably noticed the red text. This is a rule message. So engines must have a minimum quantity of 1 and tires must have a minimum quantity of 1. So these two rules have to be satisfied before I'll be able to click on the Finish button and take it to the quote basket. Now I could satisfy these rules by, for example, making a selection right here in the catalog. I know the CAT engine is going to satisfy that rule. Or I can click directly on this rule message and it will pop up a window and say, hey, these are the products you need to choose from. So I'll go ahead and choose my CAT engine right here in this window. You'll notice that message has gone away. It's selected my CAT engine, and based on the CAT engine selection, other rules have fired. For example, the Cummins engine was excluded, and it's telling me why. Since you selected the CAT engine, other engines and other engine accessories are not compatible. So it won't let me make a choice that would create an invalid quote. The other thing you'll notice is a recommendation alert is fired. And if I hover my mouse over the icon, it tells me that the alert pops up and it says the extended warranty is a must-have to ensure 100% uptime and operational efficiency. So this is giving an example of essentially a cross-sell. So we can enable cross-sell and upsell capabilities through SmartCatalog's rules and messaging. I'm going to go ahead and take this CAT monitor and mark it as an upsell product. And what that will do is it will include it in the quote, but it will include it as a zero-cost item and separate it out as an upsell. So this is a way for me to recommend other products without actually including them in the quote and the forecast. I'm going to go ahead and jump down to tires and make my tire selection so I can finish this quote. And I will click on the Finish button, and that takes me into the quote basket. Now here in the quote basket, essentially what it does is it takes all the products and services that you selected during the catalog process and rolls them up into a single line item. So here, for example, I could say, okay, I want 100 of these coaches. The other thing I can do here is manage my discounts. Let's say, for example, I want to add a 20% discount to this. Now, I've added this discount to this particular line item, but I can also choose an item level discount and actually discount the individual line items if I wanted to. Something that some people need, but it's optional, you can turn it off, is the ability to do write-in or custom products. So if you have products that don't exist in your catalog, but occasionally you need to sell them to satisfy a particular customer, you can actually write those in and it will just reside in this particular quote. Now at this point, I could actually go back and continue to drill down into other catalogs and add products and services to this quote basket and continue to build it out. But for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and save this quote as is. So when I click on the Save button and close it down, it navigates me right back into SalesLogix, and it's created a brand new opportunity for me. It's created a quote record for this opportunity, which is something that we add to the opportunity. And you'll notice that it's updated the potential. So it's driving all of the out-of-the-box forecasting. It's also loaded all of the products up in the Products tab to drive all of your out-of-the-box forecasting and product-type reporting that you have inside of SalesLogix. Now at this point, I could, if I wanted, to edit this quote and update the opportunity, in which case every time I edit it, it actually keeps a revision of each quote that I've generated for this particular opportunity. Or I can go ahead and generate my quote output. So I'll click on that, and basically what it does is launches Word, and it updates the quote inside of Word. And this is a combination of a merge template and a custom table. So you can put these merge codes, you can essentially build a boilerplate Word document with all of your standard boilerplate content in it. Put the merge codes in anywhere that you want them to render. So it's rendered the quote description, the account information as merge codes. It's asking me if I want to email them. And then you essentially put a bookmark in where you want the quote table to render. And this quote table can be customized. So we've set this up and seen customers set it up in a lot of different ways in terms of how they group products together. Maybe they group them by product line, or they show additional content related to the product. So there's really a lot of flexibility in the ultimate output of this quote. So with that in place, I've kind of demonstrated the quote-to-proposal process within SalesLogix for a salesperson, streamlined by SmartCatalog. The next thing we're going to do is turn our sights to the Portal Edition. And in this case, again, we're a coach manufacturer, so we're on our fictitious website here, Cetra.com, and we're a partner. And so we're going to click on the Partner Portal link, and that'll take us right to the login for the SmartCatalog Portal Edition. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Now, based on who I am, you'll notice that it knows that I'm David Reeder. So based on who is logged in, you can determine which catalogs and which guided selling trees that you actually want to render to them. And here in the Portal Edition, they can manage their profile. So this is reading and writing right out of the account and contact records inside of SalesLogix, so they can actually manage their profile information, manage their address information. They can also see quote history, so they can see a history of all the past and current quotes that they've created, and then they can see order history here as well. Now what we're going to do is, instead of drilling right into a catalog, we're going to demonstrate how guided selling can be used to front end. And guided selling is particularly powerful on the web because your partners and customers probably aren't as good of experts on your products and services as your salespeople are. So you can help them by guiding them through the quoting process. So we'll click on the Coach Advisor here. And what guided selling does is ask the user questions, and based on how they respond, it'll lead them into the appropriate catalog of products and services. And then it'll also fire rules that can either make recommendations or actually pre-configure the quote and make all the product and service selections for them. In this case, the first question is, what kind of trips will this be used for? Short haul, medium haul, or long haul? I'm going to choose short haul. Now, every time I answer a question, it shows me the question and the answer over here on the right. So at any time, I can click on a question and go back and change it. The second question here is, what's your maximum passenger requirement? I'm going to choose 70. And the last question is, will you require a lift option? And I'll say no. Now, this was a pretty straightforward, simple, easy guided selling.
One of our qualified consultants will visit your home.
They can actually get incredibly complex, and ask a lot of questions and get a lot of answers back from the questions.
Please ask for more information about an analysis of existing conditions.
I'm going to see if I can mute the line here for everybody. Okay, so here we are. We've gone through guided selling. It's taken us into the catalog. And basically what we've done here is render rules or recommendations. In this case, you'll notice the orange triangle. And this is what's called a discouraged alert. So it says, based on your answers in the coach advisor, it looks like you require seating for up to 70 passengers. The 4,000 does not include enough seating capacity for your needs. Here we have the recommendation alert. Based on your answers in the coach advisors, we recommend you quote the 6,000. It does not include the lift option and meets the customer's seating requirements. So I'll choose the 6,000. And then I'm going to just really quickly jump in and make my product selections so we can finish this quote and go through the process. So I click on Finish. It takes me to the quote basket. Gives me an opportunity to enter in a quote name. And I'm going to type in some notes here. Please call me regarding this quote. I'm also going to bump up my quantity here to 10. And I'll save the quote. And it gives me my quote number. Allows me to see the quote details. I can actually print a physical output if I want to send this to a customer. And of course, if I go to quote history, I can see this is the most current quote that I just created here. Now we'll go back into SalesLogix and go to our new Portal Opportunities tab. And here is the new opportunity that we just created on the portal. So I'll double click on that. And now as a salesperson, you can see here's my note. Please call me regarding this quote. So I give the partner a call. I'm going to double click on it so I can work with the partner on this quote as I'm talking to them on the phone. And basically what the partner says is, hey, I'm ready to do this deal, but I want a 20% discount. So as a salesperson, of course, I say, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a 15% discount on this opportunity, but only if you close it in the next 30 days. So I'll put a 15% discount on it, and I'll say discount valid for 30 days, and I will save the quote. And we go back into SalesLogix, and you'll notice it's created a quote revision for me and updated the potential. And now if I go back in and let me just refresh the quote history, then we can see here is our new quote. And you'll notice the quote number is the same, but it's got a revision number on it. So this is revision number 2. So as a partner logged into the website, I'll open it up. I see my 15% discount. Okay, I'm happy with this. So I'm going to go ahead and process this into an order now. And I've got to set my shipping information and my billing information. Oh, forgot to enter in a purchase order number. And click Finish. Now that quote is converted to an order. I can see my order detail record here. Of course, I can print a physical output. This order is now in my order history. And back on the SalesLogix side, I'm going to come back in and refresh SalesLogix. And you'll notice that it's now been, the status has been set to close 1, and the final quote in there is, the final revision is in there as the final, and it's also created an order detail record for me. So now what we've demonstrated is the complete kind of quote-to-order process, leveraging both the Portal Edition and the Sales Edition with SalesLogix working together. The last piece on here, and we'll just take a couple of minutes on this and then open it up to Q&A, is the magic behind the scenes. Because having a powerful quoting and proposal solution or a web-based e-commerce site, in and of itself can deliver a tremendous amount of benefit to your business. But the next piece is having that tightly integrated with your CRM strategy, SalesLogix. But if you have those two pieces in place and you've got a custom-built application that you've got to maintain over time, it's not going to have the flexibility, speed, and cost of ownership to deliver the maximum ROI. That's where our administrative application comes into play. Because what this does is make it easy for your business users in a drag-and-drop type environment to keep this all maintained and up to speed. So I'm just going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to pull open the multi-class catalog. This is the catalog that we've been quoting in today. And I'm going to pull up the catalog structure. So if you remember, these were the categories: base models, engines, transmissions. And we created this catalog by going over to our Product Explorer, which is exposing all the products in the products table. And if I were to, for example, let's drill down into compact. We've got desktops, we've got notebooks as subcategories. I can take this entire category and just drag it right over into my catalog. And then here are my categories and my products within my categories. And then if I wanted, of course, I could rename to say compact PCs if I thought that would be more intuitive to the user. So it's incredibly easy to set up your catalogs. It's all drag and drop. Now I'm going to go ahead and close that, and I'm not going to save it. And we'll look at the next piece, which are the rules in a catalog. So here's an example of a rule that we just saw in the demo that we did. So here's a condition. It says if the O prime 4000 quantity is greater than 0, so we just kind of drill down in, select the O prime 4000, select the property of quantity, set the operator to greater, and then our value of 0, and we added it. So that's how easy it was to set the condition. Then on the action side, in this case, what we did was we automatically included this transmission, and in addition to including it, we put in a message here that tells the user why it was included. And then in this case, we excluded these products. And we did that by basically just taking them over and dragging them into our excluded area. And then we set a message as to why it was excluded. Now, this is a pretty simple rule. We can have very complex conditions based on calculations, combining multiple line items, changing the operator. On the action side, in addition to simple inclusions, exclusions, we can set values to properties of products, whether or not it's quantity, price, length, weight, colored, whatever product properties you want to. Put minimum, maximum constraints on it, recommend discouraged items, actually hide products altogether. So the rules piece of this is incredibly powerful. I don't think there's a whole lot of scenarios that we've run into, whether or not it's product configuration, pricing rules, product and services, how they're bundled together, that our rules engine has not been powerful enough to handle. And then the last piece here is the guided selling. This was on the portal edition. This is what we went through. Welcome to the Coach Advisor. Here's the question. Here were the first answers that we chose. The second set of questions that came and answers. And, this was all set up by simply going in here and saying, okay, I want to add a new question, and I choose from, we've got a lot of different question types, and then I type in what the display name is, the description for it, put in different values for it. So again, it's all drag and drop, very easy to use and understand. And then the last piece that I'll point you to is some of the different controls that we have on the overall application. The first one is, of course, we support many different languages, so you can enable different languages. The other thing that we can do is display any product property that you want in the catalog, both to use from a rule perspective as well as to actually display to the end user so that they can, so today we display name, description, and then of course have quantity and price. But if you want to display additional things like gross profit or proration or volumes, lengths, widths, colors, you name it, you can display any of those product properties to the end user and enable them from a rule perspective. You can also control who sees what. So this reads in the user groups from SalesLogix and allows you by user group to determine which catalogs and which guided selling trees they can have access to. Same thing on the portal side. You set up portal groups in SalesLogix, and then for the different portal groups you can determine which catalogs they have. So ultimately what this can enable you to do is do things like have catalogs that are specific to product lines, partners for certain product lines, pricing based on partner type, products based on partner types, pricing and products based on geography. Maybe if you have large customers that have specific products that they order time and again, you can set up a catalog just for them and enable it so only they can see it on the web. So there's a lot of control over managing who sees what, which ultimately enables the SmartCatalog to handle a pretty diverse set of deployment requirements. So that really brings our demonstration to a closure. And I guess the final points to kind of take home are that we significantly speed up and streamline the quote-to-order process, both for your salespeople and your partners and customers on the web. We're very tightly integrated with SalesLogix, so we're essentially one solution with SalesLogix, which is critical. And then we ultimately enable your business users to deploy and maintain the system via a very easy-to-use drag-and-drop type environment. So that's the content for today. And at this point, I'll just open up the lines for any questions that you have.
David?
Yes.
This is Brian. Just a question on inside SalesLogix. What criteria are you using to segregate the portal opportunities from opportunities generated within SalesLogix?
Essentially, I guess the best practice that we use is you create a user inside of SalesLogix called Portal Edition, and so you associate the portal with that user. So anytime a new opportunity is created in SalesLogix by the Portal Edition, it's created via that unique user. So that allows you to segment out portal-specific quotes or opportunities.
Okay.
Other questions?
Yep, this is Jennifer. Do you have anything built into the system for shipping options, or would you just add that to the catalogs?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on how complex your shipping needs are. If you're using basic shipping rates where you have predefined shipping rates based on geography, if it's in North America, one day it's this rate, 2 days it's this rate, then we can handle that out of the box just using our basic rule capability. If you've got more advanced shipping, you want to leverage the FedEx web service for exact shipping, those kinds of things, and we've actually got a third party that we partner with that you can subscribe to their web service, and we can hook into their web service to calculate shipping exactly based on based on the customer, based on the location. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And I had one other question about permissions. You had showed how you can limit access to certain catalogs based on user permissions and user groups. Mm-hmm. But what if you wanted to limit, say, you only wanted 1 or 2 people to be able to manually add a product that's not in a catalog, because you showed us that you can manually add something. Is it possible at that level of detail to add permissions for who can and can't do things?
Yeah, we don't get to that level of detail. So for the ability to do what we call custom products, basically you are globally enabling that. So here's the checkbox to globally enable whether or not you want custom products on or off.
Okay.
So unfortunately, there's no way to administer it by user. If that was something that was just a a mission critical requirement, then what you could do is in the actual client itself, it's a .NET based application, and we separate out the presentation layer from our business logic layer to enable upgradability as you make customizations. You could put in a customization on the basket page that would look at the user, because our API passes the user information into the client every time that you generate a quote. And it could, based on the user or based on the title of the user or something like that, could dynamically turn that or turn it on or off. So that would be a customization. It could be enabled through a customization. It just couldn't be enabled through pure administration, via our administration tool.
Okay, and so that type of customization wouldn't be too difficult to do, as long as you knew .NET.
Yeah, that would be a very minor customization.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You bet. Other questions? Okay, well, I appreciate everybody's time. We will send a follow-up thank you note to everybody who attended. So if you have any other questions or thoughts that come up, you'll have an opportunity to engage with us directly one-on-one. And appreciate everybody's time. Thanks for coming out and giving us the opportunity to share our Smart Catalog. We're passionate about it, and we love to share it with as many people as we can. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay. Everybody have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.